Hi, welcome to Giulio's bar. Today we're gonna talk about Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola needs no introduction. Let's try some drinks. I was thinking about making the usual drinks and just give you my impression on it, but in the end I decided I'm gonna try some a bit more unusual ones. Today I'm gonna warn you, I'm gonna do just half drinks most of the time in this smaller glass of 300 milliliters. Normally a Coca-Cola highball will go in a glass like this and it will feature like 60 milliliter of distillate, but I don't want to die from overconsumption of Coke. Like, for example, my father-in-law, I live in Japan, I married a Japanese lady, and her father was born in 1927 November. So by the time it was 1945 summer, he was 17 and he got drafted because Japanese, I guess, they ran out of 18-year-old, so they drafted the 17-year-old. And he went to training camp. I don't know what they were training with, maybe some bamboo sticks or something. But as it turns out, then US threw like a couple of atomic bombs on Japan, the war was over, and my father-in-law started working with Americans right away. He said he was driving the truck for them, the nice GI that he was helping out. I don't know if he was doing really any smuggling or anything, but let's say he was just doing legal activity. Anyway, they were paying him some time with sugar and Coca-Cola. And the first time he tried Coke, he actually said he didn't like it. He said, oh, it's so bitter and stuff. But then he was hooked. Soon thereafter, he lost his teeth, he developed diabetes, and he still lived until he was 90. So I don't really know what the moral of the story is. I guess the moral of the story is Coca-Cola is really addictive, but he ain't gonna kill you. Anyway, better keep in check our consumption of Coke. So let's start with a Piscola, which is just Pisco and Coca-Cola. Pisco is a distillate from Peru. It's made by distillating grape juice. It's distillated just once in a pot still, and I think it's awesome. You can check my video on the Pisco Sour for more information about it. It's really fruity and nice. So let's just get some ice. I'm gonna do this half size, so 30 milliliters of the Pisco instead of the normal 60. Actually, that's a bit more than that. Maybe I went on 35, 40. Let's get some real quality Coke in a small glass bottle. Only the good stuff for this experiment. And let's decorate with a lime wedge. There you go, a Piscola. Cheers. Boy, that's sweet. I'm not used to Coca-Cola anymore. But it's not bad. The background flavor is a bit chemical, but in a good way. I don't know. It tastes a bit like a medicine, but I cannot stop drinking it. Weird, but really refreshing. A Pisco Sour is definitely better than this, but hey, as far as this Coca-Cola experiment go, maybe it's fine. Second, Coca-Cola and peated whiskey. So the Coca-Cola and whiskey bourbon is one of the most well-known classics of highball in the universe. Coke and Jack, also called a Lemmy, in honor of Lemmy Kilmister, the late singer and bass player for Motorhead, the legend. But I'm not gonna try that today. I'm gonna try something with Peated whiskey. I saw on some forum that when asked with what's your favorite whiskey to drink with Coke, many people said Hardback. Hardback is one of the most peated whiskey in Islay and I guess in the world. Some people really love it. It's really peppery, briny, tastes like campfire and sea. I tried it once and it was like so strong I couldn't drink it. But a few years passed. I never drank a Hardback anymore, but I was tasting whiskey one day in our favorite whiskey tasting place, and the master there suggested this Kill Norton. So this is not called Hardback, but it really is, because Cooper Choice is what is called in the business a bottler company. These companies, they exist for many things in the world, including rums and other things. What these bottlers do, they just go around the distillery and they ask, can we taste some of your casks? And some of the distillery will say, okay, sure. They taste, they choose the cask they want, they buy it, and then they bottle it either directly, or in this case, they first finish it in a different cask and then they bottle it. In this case, the Cooper's Choice, which is one of my favorite bottlers, finish this whiskey in Rioja cask, which I think it's a red wine from Spain. This is not called Hardback because Hardback probably told Cooper, don't put our name on your bottle, but we're gonna sell you the cask of whiskey anyway. So in all effects, this is an Hardback finish in a wine barrel. It's awesome. It tastes like red fruits a lot, and I feel a bit bad using it with Coke, but okay, let's give it a try anyway. I'm just gonna do like 30 milliliters, well, half a size. So let's pour 30 milliliters of this precious whiskey, single cask, released only for Japan, and comes at 54%. Let's top it off with some Coca-Cola. Wow, the bubbles of Coca-Cola made the pit of the whiskey explode in my face, which actually is pretty nice. If you like peat, that is. If you don't like peat, this ain't for you. Cheers. Wow, wild. Good. Still too sweet. I just think Coca-Cola is too sweet. I just wish they would serve the juice flavor of Coca-Cola without adding the sugar beforehand. I guess you could get like Coca-Cola Zero or something, but that's sweet anyway, just artificial flavor, which is even, for me, it's even worse than normal sugar because, truth be told, to me, aspartame just tastes like stuff they give you when you go and get a colonoscopy, so just my opinion, but it's true. This tastes like earth, like mud, soil. Also in a good way. This is good. I was really skeptical about this. I was been like, well, whiskey, yeah, you wanna go with a Jack or something like a sweet, neutral whiskey. And anyway, yeah, probably it's a bit of a waste using like such a fancy whiskey in a Coke and whiskey, but it's not bad at all. Might order it in a bar. The thing is, I never order Coke drinks in a bar anymore because if I drink it at night, I'm not gonna sleep. Old. This is surprisingly decent. Way to go. Next drink. Next, I'm gonna make a Tequila Colagallo, which is a drink I found at the beginning of the internet, on the internet. I don't know, like 25 years ago, is it possible? Maybe 22. And it's the only drink I know that has tequila and cola together. And to make it work, we have to add a few more ingredients. Again, I'm doing half the size of the drink. If you want to do a full highball, you should do double. I'm gonna use a bit more than half a lemon. Then I'm gonna pour 30 milliliters of this Espolón, which seems like the new standard tequila in the world. And I'm happy about that because it's a good product. It's 40% ABV. It's really popular. Probably you tried it before. And if you never tried it, give it a shot because it's good. It's definitely less harsh than some of those Jose Cuervo that used to be popular in the past. Then we top it off with some Coke. And then, last but not least, the incredibly essential pinch of salt. Now, 2 liters salt, not enough. Too much salt, it makes it undrinkable. So let's start with this amount. Let's give it a stir. And let's give it a try. Tequila Colagallo. I like this. Of the one I tried so far, this is the most refreshing. Probably because it has a good amount of lemon that cuts off on the sweetness of the overall drink. Also, a pinch of salt is really essential. Again, don't overboard with it because then it's gonna become bad. But just a bit of salt is gonna change completely this drink. This is really refreshing and nice. Even though I have a complicated history myself with tequila, which is most of the time I end up drinking too much. But this one is really good actually. Highly suggested. Nice. So for the next drink, instead of going with a normal Cuba Libre, which would be Coca-Cola, rum, and lime, I'm gonna spice it up a bit. And this time I'm gonna build in this a bit bigger glass, just to help me out with the proportion a bit. I'm gonna start with the juice of half a lime, just like I would if I would do a Cuba Libre. Then for our secret ingredient, I'm gonna put 60 milliliters of chica de piña. Chica de piña is something you can make by boiling the skin of a pineapple together with cinnamon, clove, star anise, and then filtering the stuff. I did it 2-3 days ago. I saved a bit, and this stuff is awesome. I will have a video about chica de piña at some point in the future. So I'm gonna put 60 milliliters of chica de piña. The sugar of chica de piña is given by brown sugar. So it has the acidity of a pineapple, while the sugar component is a bit different. And also it has some spice from the cinnamon mainly. So we did that. Now let's put 45 milliliters of rum. I'm using this Xaymaca pot still plantation rum from Jamaica. It comes at 43%. This stuff is really awesome and the price is just right. And then we top it off with some Coke. Not quite enough. A bit of a stir, and then let's try it. Actually, this is the first time I make this, and I didn't read the recipe anywhere, just thought it would be fine. Cheers. Cuba Libre, Chica de Piña. Piña Libre. Perfect. Really pineapple-y. The lime, in this case, also helped. Like it did with the Tequila Colagallo, in that case was lemon. Not bad at all. Basically, it tastes like a Cuba Libre with a bit of pineapple in it. But not too sweet. The cinnamon in the Chica de Piña is coming up. And the star anise. I put a small amount of star anise because my wife don't like it. But if I make Chica de Piña again, I may put a bit more because I really love the stuff. This is really good. Boy, I thought this episode was gonna be a disaster, but so far we've been doing pretty well. So we have some fun with our Coca-Cola. Now it's time to take a trip back to the past, to my 20s, when somehow this guy was going to clubs, which already was a mistake. I'm not a club guy at all. I'm a heavy metal person at heart. But, you know, I was weak. And I remember going to this club and specifically asking for a Coca rum made with their darker rum. Possibly if I could trick the bartender, which might be inexperienced, in giving me like a Havana 5 or even a Havana 7, because I mean, like this club made sometime they didn't care, or they just had a guy on the first day of their job, so you could sneak in like and ask, like, instead of giving me a Havana 3, can you give me like 5 or 7? And sometimes they would, and that was good. But in this particular club, they had Pepsi. And I remember really enjoying the stuff. Havana 5 or 7 with Pepsi. And I don't know, when we are 20s, we are dumb. But let's try it again and see if there is any reason why anybody should ever have a Coca rum made with Pepsi. By the way, funny story, I was buying this thing in the supermarket and I started saying, oh my god, who will ever buy like this stuff? There is the Coke right next to it, it costs like the same amount and it's so much better. And a lady comes by and she just fills her cart with Pepsi, so I guess somebody likes the stuff. Anyway, let's get some ice. So for this drink, I'm gonna use the oldest, darkest rum I have in my house, which is this Rom Mexicano and Rom Proibito. This is not a good rum as far as rum goes, but it's not a bad mixing ingredient. Actually, it's pretty good. I use it, for example, for a rum sour, just with lemon, sugar, and this, and it's pretty nice. It has a really burnt, woody, sweet flavor to it. So anyway, it's the closest thing I could think to a Havana 5 years I have here in my house. So I'm gonna use 30 milliliters of this. And then I'm gonna top it off with Pepsi. They don't make Pepsi in the glass bottle anymore. So I got this normal PET bottle. Oh boy. Cheers. It's true, when we are 20, we are just dumb, man. Oh man! Okay, all this experiment went pretty well until here. So I'm gonna try all these in a row for some final impressions. So my two favorites are these two. The Cuba Libre with some chica de piña. It tastes like nicely acidic pineapple drink, refreshy. But even more refreshy is Tequila Colagallo with lemon, tequila, and a pinch of salt. This might still be my favorite cola drink. This one is good though. But I mean, if you go to the extent of using a peated whiskey, just drinking it, or just make a. You can do a whiskey and a water, a whiskey and soda, do something else. I don't think it's worth mixing it with cola. No, it's not right. And the one with pisco is weird, man. Not bad, but I don't think I will ever drink it again, if given a choice. If I go to Peru, I guess I'm gonna drink it, but wherever you go, you drink the drinks of a place. But I would really have a pisco sour more than piscola. And this stuff, oh boy, that's bad. I don't even have words to describe that. And I don't want to try it anymore. Bad! Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, subscribe, tap your rat out in the comments, do whatever you want. Shake yourself a drink, or in this case, just mix it in a glass. And I will see you next time. Cheers. Is I would say not a good rum, but it's a good mixing partner